Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is something big might be coming. You should watch the dates October 9, 11, 16, and 20. Now, let me just say, I don't really know anything. I don't know anything is coming for sure. I don't even know if these dates are accurate. I don't know. I wish God would just tell me what's coming, exactly what is coming, and I'd be happy to tell you, and probably a lot of other watchmen would too. But we see through a glass darkly. Frankly, we do a lot of research, a lot of praying, a lot of research, a lot of praying, and we try to bring you the truth. But the problem is, God keeps things real close to his heart, and we don't know everything. So I want you to understand, my heart is to try to bring you something I think could be just around the corner. I'd rather me openly tell you I think something is coming, and perhaps it doesn't come, than not to tell you. Okay, so I'm not setting dates for anything, and I'm not sure anything is about to happen, but there's some good reasons to lift our eyebrows, some good reasons to perk our ears up, bend our ears forward, and watch. So here's how it started. Okay, I texted October 11th, be on the watch, to a very, very close friend. This is not my white hat banker friend. This is another white hat friend in a very high position. And I said, just watch October 11th. It could be Atonement. He texted back and said, also watch 16th and 20th. I'd love to tell you more, but I can't tell you more other than just say, trust me, something big is on the horizon. I am going to talk about it, but I'm not going to tell you when I'm talking about it. So you just gotta, if you follow us every day, then you'll probably know. If this is one of your first times to Prophecy Club, then may not. Also, to all supporters, I'm going to say, watch this. An informed, detailed, long-time researcher now says to watch October the 9th, in addition to October the 11th. He says 2024 is the year of the Jubilee. He says the Jubilee actually might be incorrect. Instead of October 11th, it might be October 9th. Now, the thing of it is with these feast dates, nobody knows, okay? We don't know exactly what year the Jubilee is going to be. We've been thinking about it for 4 or 5 years, maybe this year, well, it hadn't come. But we watch because, we don't know when Jesus is going to come either, but we watch, all right? So, watch October the 9th. It also has a chance of being the Day of Atonement. He also believes that there will be freedom from all debts, all slaves freed, and he did not mention any arrest. We're going to talk about that. Also, if you want to know what time it is, we always watch Israel. Right now, Israel, according to some reports I'm about to read for you, is moving massive amounts of military toward Lebanon. And as you know, over the last couple of days, there has been some 3,000 explosions, and that's not including the new explosions just happened today. So war does not appear to be concluding in Israel anytime soon. Now, why is that important? Because we're watching for the counting of the Omer. We watched for it last year, and we're going to watch for it again this year. And one of these years, it'll happen. Some other things we're watching for is death of the dollar and a new financial system arising. Remember, Shane Warren was told he saw signs give us our entitlements. Okay, well, why is that important? Because just I guess it was yesterday, that they have announced that they might not be able to come to an agreement on this next budget, which is supposed to be getting done here in the next 15 or 20 days. I should have looked it up, but I don't remember. But if they don't come to a budget, that could give us our entitlements. In other words, a perfect storm, lots of bad things hitting all at the same time. Also, just today, the Feds cut interest rates by 0.05%, which is really big. The stock market, of course, is rising and loving it. And they're doing this, in my opinion, because they want you to feel good about voting Democrat. Now, this is going to tie together here. Let's see, just have a date? Yes, September the 17th. So that's yesterday for when I'm recording this. This is Donald Trump, cease and desist. I, together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely, because I know, better than most, the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has taken place by the Democrats in 2020 presidential election. He's given them warning. Why is he giving them warning? Because I think that there's about to be massive arrest. I don't know exactly when, but we've got, 10 or 12 different prophecies saying they're coming? Anyway, so it was a disgrace to our nation. Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny. And when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. What's he saying? He's saying he's going to round up a bunch of people, which will include long-term prison sentences so that this depravity of justice does not happen again. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't. Please beware that this legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. Those involved in unscrupulous behavior will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at all levels, unfortunately, never seen before in our country. What's he saying? Is he kidding? Did this just one of his secretaries post this? Doesn't mean it? No, my brothers and sisters, you better understand he was serious in giving this warning. Now, let's tie together some other news things. So the U.S. Marshals Service just posted this September 9th, and it says Operation Homecoming recovers 32 missing children in the Akron area. Are these going to be part of the massive arrests? Could it be that they're kind of already flipping the light on a little bit? They don't want to cause all the cockroaches to run too quickly. But could it be that this is all part of it? Newsmax says, Senator Marshall, ABC's News must release its comms with Kamala. The article goes on to say they think that Kamala was cheating. They think that she got, they don't say it exactly like this, but I'm saying it like this. I think that she had the questions in advance. And I started to go in and actually dig this up, but I watched Hillary Clinton talk the other night. This was the same day of the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. And she would talk and she would look up and she would stumble but when she was in her debate with Donald Trump, no stumbles. It was perfect. Same thing with Kamala, okay? People can't talk without stumbles, without pauses, when they're actually thinking for themselves out of their own heart. But if you watch what happened to Kamala, and if you watch what happened also with Biden, and then also, see, just like me, I had a stumble with Biden and with Hillary Clinton. When people talk, they have pauses. They have uhs. They have stumbles. But when they were in the debate with Trump, no, that was perfect. In other words, I think they were cheating. And what this article, as a matter of fact, there are several other articles out there, the good guy press is calling for ABC News to release all communications with Kamala Harris. Why? If they will, and you know they won't, but if they will, it would show they sent the questions in advance to Kamala, in advance to Biden, and in advance to Hillary Clinton too. Why? Because the left is just that. They're dirty, they're serpents, and they cheat. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. And that's the reason we say, how can you vote for her? How can you vote for him? They're so evil. Because that's the life they live. That's the spirit in their heart. As a matter of fact, I just gave a sermon on that 2 weeks ago called the Seed of the Serpent. When they themselves are liars It doesn't bother them that other people lie. When they themselves cheat, it doesn't bother them that others cheat, because that's the way we live. Now, to us Christians that don't cuss and lie and we don't drink and the other, those things bother us. And we just can't understand how they can possibly vote for someone that's for abortion when we believe that when that sperm meets that ovum and the light of life is given, then there is life at that time. And hopefully it comes to life. Anyway, let's go on. CoinTrust says BRICS pushes for de-dollarization through blockchain-based financial systems. Okay, we've talked about this a lot. But what the point I'm trying to make is we're having a lot of things all heading toward a perfect storm. See, because a perfect storm is when you got storms coming from north, south, east, west, all kinds of directions, and they're all hitting at once. This is the dollars hitting at once. Okay, there's more. Now, large Israeli military convoys are moving troops toward the Lebanese border, and the next article says Israeli war cabinet has granted permission for war. Okay, so last year we were watching for the counting of the Omer, which are the 49 days between first fruits and Pentecost, and didn't happen. Why? Because that's one of the big things we watch for before the Russians attack with nuclear weapons. Because right now, I mean, Russia has said, look, if you send NATO or U.S. or Brit weapons into Russia, and if they kill Russians in Russia, it's going to be bloody. And it's going to be bloody on both sides of the Atlantic, okay? They warned us. They warned us countless times. I brought it to you many, many, many times. So I tell you, if I didn't have those Omer ushers in, Palestinian state, catastrophe, I didn't have all of those that Leslie was given, those prophecies, I would be saying right now, oh boy, I mean, internal revolution's about to start. Russia's about to attack us, but we have not seen the signs. So I do not think that the massive arrests is going to be the internal revolution. It does not appear to me at this point. Now, I reserve the right to change my mind. But right now, it doesn't look like this is the internal revolution. It doesn't look like it's time for Russia to attack us and destroy America in 1 hour. Now, things could change, but that's what I think so far. Now let's go on to the next one. Jumbo size rate cut, Fed slashes rates by 0.5 percentage point. Well, why wouldn't they do that in the last election? I mean, obviously they're trying to get the Democrats, they're trying to make Kamala look good so that they can Bidenomics and Harrisomics, they haven't said that, but Harrisomics works. Yeah, well, you have to understand the center of evil obviously is Lucifer. And then coming out from that center, not too many rings from that is the Federal Reserve. And these are the guys that are extremely evil. Let's go on though. Now, if you'll notice in the right corner, and I wrote this on these next two slides, I don't criticize others who name the name of Jesus. I don't. When Prophecy Club first started, that's one of the things the Lord told me is if they name in my name, do not criticize them. Like, Abraham Lincoln said, any fool can criticize, condemn, or complain, and most fools do. Dale Carnegie said, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Abraham Lincoln said, when you throw mud, whether you hit the mark or miss the mark, your hands still get dirty. Besides that, Leslie and I have both been on the receiving end of correction from the Lord. And if you haven't, I'm sorry for you. Probably most of you understand exactly what I'm talking about because those I love, I chasten, Jesus says. So I've been on the receiving end of correction more than once, and I might say more than I would ever admit. And I would not want to tell you some of the things I've done wrong because they're very embarrassing. Probably if you knew some things I do. What I'm trying to say is, Jesus doesn't need my help correcting his own. He doesn't need my help. He didn't ask for my help, and he's not going to get my help. So I do not attack other ministries. I don't. And that's the reason I didn't put the ministry name on here, because I'm not attacking it. But this brother's put up here that he says he may be wrong. And of course, I think he is. But he says that the pre-tribulation rapture may be happening October the 9th. Well, I don't have too long to find out on that, do we? He goes on to say that the Day of Atonement is near. Now, he doesn't agree with the experts I've seen, but he had some good reasons for it. So I'll put it out there without his name because I'm not attacking him. And brother, if you do get this sent to you, again, I love you. I'm not attacking you. Actually, I was quite impressed with a lot of things you said. So anyway, he says the Day of Atonement is near, and he says it's September 27th of 2024. Now, here's the big point. I'll read it. September 27th is the Day of Atonement, where the 70th Jubilee is declared, meaning probably the last one, is declared, and on this day everyone's debts are to be forgiven, and everyone is to regain their inheritance, just like the Bible says. Now, here's the point. We've been wondering if this is the year of Jubilee, and he says it is. So that's at least the second, maybe even the third confirmation that 2024 is the year of Jubilee. Now, what does that mean if it is? It means that there's about to be a great change in our finances. It means that some people that are in good positions with their finances are about to be really, really, really blessed. And those people that aren't in good positions are probably going to be standing in food lines. They'll probably have their cars repossessed, their houses repossessed. You know, we've been trying to warn people. And apparently, now again, I can't say, I want to say this clearly, I can't say that this is the year of Jubilee. I can't say October the 11th or October the 9th or September the 27th. I can't say anything is going to happen on those days or even this year. But we're watchmen. Now that means that when we see the sword come, we're to blow the trumpet. We're to warn people. Okay, we're doing that best we can. Okay, but it also means that we don't always know. So we do our best, just like you. You know, you've probably tried to warn people only to find out it didn't happen like we thought. But what I'm trying to say is we've got at least 2, maybe 3 very informed sources that's saying this is the year Jubilee. Jubilee means this. Now, this is the 24 dates. We've already passed Passover, unleavened bread, and Pentecost. But now, October 3rd, and that's only, 2 weeks away, is going to be the Feast of Trumpets. I think that is the Feast of Trumpets, is the day that Jesus returns for Armageddon, but I don't think it's this year. But he goes on to say, now I'm just showing you some, I called one of my expert buddies that is really good with understanding all of the feasts, keeps all the feasts, teaches all the feasts. And I said, look, I got to know the truth. Exactly what are the dates here according to the best of the best of the best experts. He says these are the dates. So let's just, and of course, these dates are very close to these dates. They pretty much agree. So apparently, it's according to hebcal.com. That means that the Feast of Trumpets starts at sundown on October the 2nd, and the Feast of Atonement, which is probably associated with actually the starting of the Jubilee. So it may very well be that sometime in October, I'll even broaden it, September, October, and even November, we could see some big financial changes. Some in good shape, some not so good shape, which, by the way, I guess it'd be a good time for me to say, if you have an IRA, if you have some money in the bank, if you have a 401k and you don't want to lose it, then it'd be really smart for you to call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. It doesn't cost you anything, didn't hurt. They won't embarrass you. Just call them and say, okay, look, here's my situation. Am I okay? Or do you have a suggestion? And talk to them. They're Christians. They'll help you. Okay, let's go on. So here it is. I'm not going to read all this. I read it the other day. Verse 13 says, you shall return every man into his possession I think that means that they're about to have a big financial change if this is the year. And here's another calendar, but this is 2025. This is the counting of the Omer, which means we're looking now from April 15th to June 1. Here it is. This is next year to see if that's the counting of the Omer. What does that mean? It means that during those dates, we could see that big earthquake hit. I don't know. Again, we're looking for a lot of things to happen at once. And I have to refresh your memory on this. We had this guy speak back in 2012. He's a missionary, I think it's Costa Rica. Daniel Davis is his name. He said he had a dream. He actually had 3 dreams, and one of them, he said he saw a man step to a microphone and say, "The United States as you've known it has ceased to exist. All property lines are dissolved, and the U.S. dollar is worthless." Now, all of that could be taking place in the next few months, perhaps even in October and November. I didn't say it. I didn't say it does. I'm just saying it could that soon. That also ties together with this one. Remember, I just read this one the other day, Barry Wunsch. He said he saw 1776, the start of our nation, turn into a 2024, and he said he saw that 1776 was going to be surpassed in history by what happens in 2024. In other words, he saw a new nation. And he said it couldn't be stopped. He saw a plethora of military and law enforcement taking massive action, arresting the bad guys, as just as I said, first thing I read when we're talking about from Donald Trump. He's warning them there better not be any cheating. I'm not even convinced we'll necessarily make it to the election. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. He also said he saw flags being lowered. In other words, 2 other people have seen that we get a new name to our nation, a new flag to our nation, and apparently the Constitution is going to be suspended at least temporarily. New flags, he saw that. Then he also saw that it's time for wealth transfer to be released. Now, I'm not exactly certain what that is, but I hope the church gets a little of it, and that is what Shane Warren said. "I saw the church arise with healing in the wings, many acquiring things, and a transfer of wealth coming into the hands of believers, coming into the hands of the church." If you look on down, he says that they couldn't go to the government for help anymore. They had to go to the church. So there's about to be a great wealth transfer into the hands of the church. Now, let me tie one more thing together. I just read this the other day too. Benjamin Fulford, the White Hats have won. The United States, and I disagree with him on Israel, will cease to exist. Well, that's what the other guy said. He says, the United States, as you've known it, will cease to exist. All right, then he says he saw public announcements are likely in the fall. He saw that the transition process to the new system will start with a Jubilee, a one-time cancellation of all debts, public and private, and a redistribution of assets. What another place said is they take the value of the earth and they divide that up into the people of the earth and they start anew. And apparently that's exactly what a Jubilee would be. So it may be that we're about to see the Jubilee. So I'm telling you, watch those dates. He also said there's going to be war crimes tribunals, and we're talking about a whole new world. Talking about a new country with a new name, a new flag, a new financial system, a new government system. I know, that sounds like a new world order. I think it is a precursor to the world government. I think it is an interim step. I don't think it is the world government, and I suspect it's only going to last about 6 months of great miracles, great revivals. It's going to be a time. For some people, it's going to be very, very good. Some people, it's going to be very, very, very bad. In other words, it's not a time where everybody's going to be rejoicing. And probably that's when Jason Meeks said he saw that the suitcase nukes hit. Anyway, so I've done my best to try to warn you. Now I'm just saying get prepared. We've got a new sponsor. It's sat123.com. Sat123.com. I'm amazed at what this company offers. They got satellite phones. They've got Wi-Fi hotspots where you can have internet any place. So suitcase nukes go off in your city. if you don't have to worry about that, you still have electricity, it can go right up and connect to a satellite. They also have marine satellite internet. They also have satellite radios so that you can talk back and forth, even though, in other words, it's not a phone, it's a radio, but it's satellite. So go check it out, satellite123.com. And if you use the promo code PROPHECY, there are several different kinds of discounts in there. If you don't want to lose your life's savings, if you have an IRA or a 401k, the thing to do is call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. These folks are Christians and they specialize in helping people not lose their life savings in the event of a stock market crash and things like that. Look, most of the 401ks, most of the IRAs are in paper, backed by paper, and as Lindsey Williams says, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You can lose it all. 1-800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. Hey, give them a call. Doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything. See if they can give you some good advice. When the suitcase nukes, I didn't say if, I said when the suitcase nukes go off, if you want your car to start, if you want your computers and your refrigerators and things like that, anything with a computer chip to work, you want to have one of these from EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. And they have videos up there. It takes about 10 minutes to put on. It's not complicated at all. And if you use the word prophecy, promo code prophecy, you get a $50 discount and it helps your prophecy club. In 2021, I started making bread. And long story short is I believe God showed me that wheat is God's famine food, just like it was famine food back in the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, days of Pharaoh and Joseph. And I believe that that's what God has planned to feed his people. And you get it by going to josephskitchen.com. 3 steps. First, you want to get a machine package. Second, you want to order 6 ingredients and watch some videos, download the recipes to be able to make the bread. josephskitchen.com. Most of your long-time storage food, emergency food, all of that, typically are talking $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. Joseph Kitchen can show you how to do it for around $1,000 a person, and your kids will actually eat it, and it's actually good for you. Here's some bread that I made. In my case, I lost weight, lowered my blood pressure, gives me more energy. I eat a morning, slice in the morning, slice in the afternoon, always a slice before I go play racquetball. Go check it out, josephskitchen.com.